there are so many wage laborers in a precarious economy that this is not something that is inclusive growth. This is growth for some at the expense of many. So if you have green economy and it's a localized economy and it's an inclusive economy, you're likely to have more peace. Where people are excluded, where the earth is being so damaged, resources being extracted, it is only going to lead to conflict. What people are understanding today, especially the youth, because climate change is such a good metaphor for that, is they understand that unless we have a more sustainable economy, we cannot have peace. So this is where I want to bring you back to Kumarappa. Kumarappa, where many of these relationships were made, was right here in Tamilnadu. It was a man of this soil, JC Kumarappa, born in Tanjore, that went and did business and was a businessman, quite a successful businessman, and then went to study at Columbia University in New York, and began to see, with the rise of the Depression of 1929, how absolutely futile this economy was. He realized it was based on debt and on finance. He came back to India realizing that the British are exploiting Indians to such a degree that they need to find a new way forward. He met Gandhi just before the Salt Satyagraha of 1930 and pleaded with him to please let us look at economics differently. He felt, and quite rightly so, that Gandhi was very interested in the charkha and khadi, but we needed to go further and look at all of rural industries. And so JC Kumarappa in 1934 in Varda set up the All India Industries, rural industries. And there began his 20 years of working with people in communities all across mostly northern India at that time, to understand how can they, with the resources they have in their village, how can they strengthen their village economy. And this idea that Kumarappa brought was feeding the notion that Gandhi had, that India was actually 500,000 villages in a country called India. But Kumarappa was trying to find for those 500,000 villages livelihood, an economy that could be sustainable. And for that, he realized green economy, localization, and inclusive economy were three elements that were necessary. And so he went about working. I think with the path that India took under the 5-year planning and building up an industrial economy, this was completely antithetical to what Kumarappa was saying. And so Kumarappa got very frustrated that all the work he was doing at the micro level was not reflected in macro policies. And so around 1955, Kumarappa came back to this place, Madurai, T Kalupatti, about 40 kilometers from central city of Madurai. And there he was accepted by a person who ran a school to set up his training in T Kalupatti and the Gandhi Niketan. And he spent about the last 5 years of his life. So he came back to his roots. In the process, he had, in the years he had been in North India, he wrote a book, Economy of Permanence. He wrote a couple of books and many articles, but the main one that is highlighted today is Economy of Permanence. Economy of Permanence is basically How do you take an economy and map it on nature and natural processes? Because nature and natural processes have existed for millions of years. And the main problem with the economy, as we've contrived it from Adam Smith onwards, has been all based on the vagaries of the market, on who buys and who sells. And in that market vision from Adam Smith onwards, which led to a brilliant industrialized process in Europe, what happened when it came to poor populations, where there were massive poor populations, people found that they could not survive well in that kind of market. That market was against them. The market was lopsided, not in favor of small producers. So it took a Kumarappa to come into that mix and try to find ways to bring that economy more in line with nature. I remember, friends, in 2017, when it was the anniversary of one of the anniversaries of Kumarappa, and many of the environmentalists of India came together and said, my goodness, JC Kumarappa was one of the greatest environmental economists of our time. And I would say, friends, we value Schumacher, we value many people who have written on medium, small technology and small economy. But really, JC Kumarappa was the father of this notion of rural economy based on grassroots communities creating livelihood. So Kumarappa has been the inspiration. And that's why we're in Madurai, because he left us in Madurai. He left us, but after Kumarappa's death, many big NGOs developed based on Gandhian values. You find ASEFA under Loganathan, who Loganathan has shepherded this great organization, ASEFA, based on Gandhian values. Dan Foundation has come from this soil, shepherded by Vasi Malai. Gandhigram is a huge trust, has been a huge trust that has shepherded thousands of small enterprises. And Kunakaran was at one of the really great leaders of nonviolent economy, the Vice Chancellor of Gandhigram University. So all of these people gave us the ground from which things developed. Now, friends, today, these social organizations, ASEFA, Down Foundation, Gandhigram, things are shifting. They're shifting because the new generation want to move more to social and community enterprise. They want to see how to make markets have some influence on the market. The ASEFAs and the DANs and the Gandhigrams have been excellent in organizing producers, but the marketing is weak because you need consumers, not just high-class consumers, but middle-class consumers to buy the products. And therefore, it was very important that social enterprises and community enterprises come up. That is what this Ahimsa Sentai here today is celebrating. How the social organizations that have been good at organizing people are now converging with the young who are developing social enterprises, coming out of business schools, leaving the IT and corporate businesses to do organic social enterprises with farmers, set up FPOs, farmer producer organizations. This is what we're trying to bring together. And the youth with the more traditional social organizations into a network called the Nonviolent Economy Network. So this is a direct result of the work of Kumarappa, JC Kumarappa. This is a direct result of a Gandhian economics at base.
The ashram which you visited in Kalupatti was started in the year 1940 by Mr. G. Venkatachalapati. He was a teacher. During his college days, he entered into the freedom struggle. He had his college studies in Trichy. He gave up at the intermediate stage and took part in the national struggle. He was arrested twice for taking part in the freedom struggle, and he wanted to become a teacher because he met a prisoner in the prison who was very happy and cheerful, though he was given a capital punishment. So he was asking him, why, how is that you are going to die? You are so happy and cheerful. He says, for the mother's country I can do anything. Who gave you this idea? That the idea towards my country was given by my teacher. So that impressed him that he should become a teacher. That's how he discontinued his studies. He couldn't proceed further. He joined teacher training. So he was trained as a teacher and worked in a school which created a history, drew the attention of Mahatma Gandhi also. That is, he implemented all the schemes that Gandhi did later in that school. So Gandhi liked him very much, and with his blessings he started this ashram. This ashram, 7 years he was working among the villages and starting, concentrating on 2 areas. One is education, because poor villages didn't have scope for better education. 2, village industries, so that rural youth will be employed. With this idea only he started the school. And the school grew by leaps and bounds. The chief minister in 1940s, he initiated a scheme whereby villages can be developed by rural development. So when he told the chief minister immediately called Mr. Venkatachalapati and said, you take up this department and then develop it. So that's how the rural development came into the picture. So he continued there for 17 long years. At that time this institution also grew up. So when Kumarappa was introduced to him by the chief minister, because chief minister had asked Kumarappa to study the rural development scheme and give a proposal. So he became the chairman and Venkatachalapati became the secretary. So that's how their contact came. So when Gandhi died and Kumarappa wanted to come to South, he couldn't get along with all the other people. He must have studied by now about Kumarappa's attitude. He will call a spade, so he won't mince words. There's a famous story that there was a planning committee meeting in Viceroy's Palace, that is Rashtrapati Bhavan, and this man went in a jatka. So the fellow at the gate wouldn't allow him to get into Rashtrapati Bhavan because he came in a jatka. He said, no, either you allow me or go back. At that time Pandit Nehru came, and he came in his car, he got down and he met Kumarappa and said, what's the matter? This is the matter, your government is not allowing me because I am coming in a jatka. So Nehru apologized and then took him inside. So that's the type of man. So when Gandhi died and all the other programs were wound up in Wardha, Kumarappa wanted to come down to South and settle down. So he belongs to South, that you must be knowing by now. So when he came in search of a place, so Mr. Venkatachalapati invited him. Why do you want to go anywhere? You come and settle in Gandhigram Ashram at Kalupatti. So that's how Kumarappa came to Gandhigram Ashram. He built that hut, he himself. At that time it was surrounded by fields and dry cotton fields. So there was no human movement. It was a God-forsaken place at that time. But even then he settled it there. So then Kumarappa came to Kalupatti. and started the work. He gave a lift to the ashram. Naturally, he was an all India figure. Rajendra Prasad, Vinobaji, and all big leaders used to visit him in Kalupatti. So that's how Kalupatti developed. And ashram at that time was booming with various activities. Now you must have seen only the school and some industries, otherwise no further development.
He has been arguing that the villages are the backbone, and even during his discussions in planning commissions etc., his viewpoints are only that unless rural economy is uplifted, India will not improve. What we have done in Gandhigram, most of the principles of Kumarappa we have adopted when we have been designing our khadi production or any other production. In fact, Kumarappa visited us when he was near here, and then he has been helping us to develop the khadi and villages industry system. He has been working with the weavers, he has been guiding the spinners, and many other activities he has been helping. And at that particular point of time, we have many other village industries like using the cow dung and other activities which he designed, because Kumarappa, though a chartered accountant, designed many issues. How to convert the cow dung into energy, conversion of energy, and how do the rural wealth can be converted to wealth so that the rural economy is self-sustained and the rural people may be able to improve and have a good livelihood, and the village itself should become self-sufficient. That is the principle in which Gandhiji, Vinoba and Kumarappa worked, and we have been following the same pattern as far as possible. Even in the modern turn, our cluster approaches, development of SHGs, supportive of SHGs are only designed only on the basis of Kumarappa, and his principles are taken. And when we are designing new projects also, we are keeping in mind that particular designs, whether it is going to help the rural areas, whether livelihood program of the rural people will be uplifted and the village economy will be improved. Only on that basis we plan our industries, social enterprises, which have yielded good results. There are obstacles that we have to face, but those obstacles with their blessings and other things, we were able to overcome and try to achieve the results.
Kumarappa was associated with Gandhigram for many years. He was a regular visitor of Gandhigram, a close friend of Gandhigram. The founder of Gandhigram and Dr. JC Kumarappa, they worked in the promotion of village industries in the All India Village Industries Association. Kumarappa was the chairman of All India Village Industries Association, and Dr. G. Ramachandran was the secretary of All India Village Industries Association. All India Village Industries Association was founded by Mahatma Gandhi. You may be very happy to know that it had many distinguished advisors. Dr. Sir C. V. Raman, Sir Jagadish Chandra Bose, Rabindranath Tagore, and G. D. Birla, and many others. Gandhi wanted a combination of scientists, artists, industrialists and entrepreneurs in promotion of village industries. Gandhi thought the scope for India's poor will come only from the khadi and village industries. Gandhiji's ideas many times could not be understood by many, but Kumarappa gave a practical interpretation to Gandhi's ideas. One of the best books of Kumarappa was Economy of Permanence. He was talking about the sustainable development long back, about 90 years back. At that time, no one was aware of all these issues, but Kumarappa was ahead of his time and he could appreciate. Gandhi and Kumarappa, they could guess that something is going wrong with industrial civilization. So he believed that poverty can be completely eradicated from the earth provided you restructure public policies and social systems. Kumarappa's ideas at that time, he was not a Gandhian at that time, his ideas were the outcome of his own research and understanding of the policies of the British government, and he wanted to submit his research report to Mahatma Gandhi. He came to Ahmedabad Sabarmati Ashram, met Gandhi and gave a copy of his thesis to him. Gandhi asked his permission to publish that thesis in his Young India Weekly. After that, Gandhi and Kumarappa, they became friends. Finally, Gandhi invited him to leave his profession and join in the Ahmedabad Sabarmati Ashram. Kumarappa joined as a professor of economics in the Gujarat Vidyapith in Ahmedabad. After Dandi March, Gandhi left Sabarmati Ashram once for all and he settled at Sevagram. Kumarappa also came along with Gandhi to Sevagram. He started a new institution in Mahanwadi. Mahanwadi is now considered as the Mecca of rural industries. Mahanwadi, he did lot of research in various village industries. About 34 industries or what we call as rural technologies. He did many bold experiments. How Gandhiji's ideas could be translated into products for the daily use of human beings. Kumarappa was very successful. As I told you, he was assisted by great people like C V Raman, Jagadish Chandra Bose, Nandilal Bose, like others. Kumarappa's economy, I think, it stands on three important principles. One is, economy should enrich nature, enrich poor and enrich the life of human beings. The three important principles. For example, no economic activity, no industrial activity can harm the nature. It must be designed in such a way that economic activity, it does not harm nature, poor and the life of human beings. Kumarappa used to give good examples, good models for that. He used to tell about earthworm and honeybees. For millions of years, earthworm is enjoying its life in the earth. It takes all its requirement from the earth, but in that process it enriches the earth. The relationship between earth and the earthworm is so perfect, so harmonious, mutual benefit, based on mutual benefit. Like that honeybee also. Honeybee, it goes to flowers, it collects honey, it collects only very little honey, not much honey. It does not harm flowers, but it helps the plants because of pollination. Plant life, mostly it survives because of honeybees. If we have a earth without honeybees, what could happen? So, any activity, any industrial activity, any economic activity should have a sense of enriching nature. That was his idea. In a limited world, unlimited growth is not only possible, it is disastrous. It is not possible for this earth to satisfy the unlimited needs of human beings. So, in this context, Kumarappa's ideas are becoming very important. What I want to tell, Kumarappa lived 70-80 years back. We may not be able to implement all his ideas of 70-80 years back today. We have to revisit Kumarappa, we have to redesign his ideas. There are many young people now, they are able to appreciate the Kumarappa's views and the idea of sustainable development. Lot of initiatives are all over the world going on. Now youth are the hope for us. I believe sometimes in history miracles could happen. Gandhi believed in that. Suddenly human race may realize the real problems we are facing today and the real solutions for it. On that day, I think the world will revisit Kumarappa and Gandhi again.